For all of the people who follow my draft class content, I want to let you know that I am working on my draft classes a lot earlier now. If you recall, last year, that was my plan when Madden came out, was to start working on my draft classes so it wouldn't take them so long to come out. Now, as you all know, I don't typically release my draft classes until after the first draft of the first season of our online league. Now, our league hasn't started up yet. It won't start up until probably early to mid-September, but the draft class will be available a lot sooner. I wasn't able to actually follow through and start working on the draft class last year because they still had the glitch going on where certain offensive linemen and defensive linemen, when you edit them and you change their weight, they would change from an offensive lineman's build to a wide receiver or smaller tight ends build. And I stopped what I was doing as far as working on a class and started pumping out videos showcasing this, because this was an issue that was in 25 as well that I made videos about but didn't garner enough attention to push EA to make a change. Now, last year my videos picked up enough that the community started spamming those videos in forums and EA's accounts, whether it be X, whether it be Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. They spammed them, and then EA finally made a change. They made an adjustment and they fixed that. One of the things that I got criticized for all of these years as I've been making these draft classes was the fact that all of the players weren't ordered properly. They were all out of order. Now, I will preface that by saying I have always made videos explaining exactly how the players are ordered or exactly how the players are created in my draft class. I said that I created the players from top to bottom at each position, from highest rated player to lowest rated player. So you have to disregard the projected round and the projected pick, because if you look at it from top to bottom, depending on where that player is, his overall is going to be much higher than where he is projected. Some players were projected undrafted, but ended up with 68, 69 overall rating, 70 overall rating, 71 overall rating. Well, honestly speaking, I did not know how to specifically reorder a draft class. I didn't figure this out until I was actually working on my year 2 draft class for Madden 26, and I stumbled across it on accident. And when I did stumble across it, I made sure to purposely reorder my year 2 draft class and had it properly reordered. Now, when I did that, I came across another glitch that I didn't know about. The community let me know because I create my draft classes in my league. This will be my first year creating them outside my league, but I create my draft classes in my league, so I never experienced this issue, but the community did. So I bring this up because I'm going to say that although I did learn about reordering the draft class, I'm going back to my original method of not reordering my draft class and creating each position from top to bottom, best to lowest rated overall. Now, unless EA actually patches this, which is the purpose for me making this video here, hopefully it could gain enough traction to get them to change this. I doubt it will, but in the event that it does, I may go back and reorder my draft classes. But for the time being, I'm going back to my method of creating my draft classes where each position, letting you know each position from top to bottom is highest to lowest overall player. But the glitch that is still evident, the glitch that I found out about via the community last year, and is still evident now, is when you create a draft class and you re-edit the positioning of each player, although they still have their profile faces where it looks like they each have different faces, when you go to edit them, or even when you go to draft them, they all have the same generic face, height, and build. Now, this doesn't happen when you just create the class and you don't reorder it. This only happens when you reorder the draft class. So for all of the individuals who want the proper reordered draft class, you're not gonna get that from me unless EA patches this. But my draft classes will be back. They just won't be reordered, and you'll have to keep in mind when drafting from my draft class that even if a player's projected selection says that they're projected late round pick or projected undrafted, all you have to do is look at their positioning and pecking order at their position. Chances are they're still going to be a higher overall rated player, depending on their positioning. Now, if they were projected last in their position, then there's a chance they're 61 or 62, something of that nature. But again, if EA actually patches this, if they fix this, which I'm scared of because EA has a tendency to, when they patch one thing, they break something else. But if they actually patch this and it works, I will go back in there and reorder my draft class. So this video is just to let everybody know my draft classes are still coming. They're coming a lot sooner than they typically would, but unfortunately also I have to go back to my original method of just editing top to bottom each position and leaving it at that. And it's all due to the fact that this glitch is still present in this game. Now, if y'all spam this video and it gets thousands and thousands of views like my videos last year did, by all means, if they fix it and everything is perfectly fine and it gets corrected, I'll go back in there and I'll reorder my draft class. But for the time being, oh, also, and one other thing, for those who don't know and newbies who might be brand new to my channel, brand new to my content, the way my draft classes are made, they're not based off of real life draft classes. They're based off of my dynasty and players that leave each year in my dynasty. So you don't necessarily have to follow my dynasty to know these players. If you have a dynasty yourself, then you're going to know these players that are leaving. So each year in my dynasty, every player that leaves and goes into the NFL draft, I go ahead and I create them in my draft class in Madden. So it directly follows my dynasty rebuild from College Football 27. Essentially like an export and import without actually having the export and import feature. So if you're looking for a realistic draft class comparable to real life, that's not what my draft classes are. They're based off of the classes that leave in my College Football 27 rebuild. So if that's not for you, then by all means, go ahead and download other draft classes. But if you are interested in that, and if you have been downloading my draft classes, then stay tuned because they will be available to you much sooner than they typically are, as I am working on them now as we speak. As always, if you're here for the first time or you're returning and you haven't liked or subscribed already, please do so. Click that notification tab so you can stay up to speed with more Madden 27 content, more sports gaming content as it pertains to College Football 27, NBA 2K, MLB The Show. We'll have it here. Again, I appreciate you all for tuning in. That's been my time. Till next time. Peace.